Good evening. How is everyone this evening? Just
Good evening, everyone. How are you? Just getting started. Give us a couple of seconds.
Hi. Hey, can you see me? Can you hear me? Hi.
Yes, I can hear
Oh,
you and see you
great.
now. After
Hello.
a bit
Hello.
of
Hello, Maisha.
technical difficulties.
All right, you guys.
Long
We're
no
we're
see.
we're having some technical issue, you guys, because I can't really see Maisha well. Can you guys let us know if you can hear us, if you can see us? Can you just kind of let us know what's going on? She's not that clear for me. There. Is that better?
Okay, should I start
I
again,
mean, I can
do you
hear you
think?
now. Let's just see what everyone else says. Now
There.
you're back. All right, you guys. Hello and welcome to Theta Talks. Oh, but both faces are blurry. Yeah, I think we've got some tech issues. Um, so blurry. Taya, of us, can you can hear us clearly? All right. So I'm just waiting for Chaya to let us know how the quality of the video is. Go ahead, Maish. I can.
Can you hear me? I can
Okay,
see you
beautiful. Let's
clearer
get
now.
started then. So first of all, for everyone tuning in, thank you so much for joining us. This is Theta Talks, the revival of Theta Talks. Maisha and I decided this year for 2025 that we were going to reconnect with all of you to talk about theta healing, how much it has made an impact in our lives, and how it has really shaped who we are today. So that's our goal today, is just to talk a little bit about theta healing, our lives, our own healing journey. Maisha, anything you wanted to add to that?
Well, I'm really excited to be back, and I'm happy that you will be with me partnering through all the Theta Talks this year. So that will be very fun and interesting. And we get to explore all the fun, questions and careers people have, and they've been wanting to ask, but probably we're a little bit shy. So it's nice to have this platform so that people have this opportunity to ask both of us,
Yeah, absolutely.
these
And
questions.
we're going to do this every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. That's GMT plus 8. And of course, in your time zone, you'd have to convert that. But our goal is every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. to come up to talk to you about something very specific. And we'll let you know the week before what we're going to be talking about the following week. So if you have any questions, you can definitely drop them into the chat, and we will be answering your questions. And we'll also be sharing some different things that we wanted to talk about on that particular topic. So today we're talking about, getting real about healing, right? So I think sometimes we think healing has to happen either immediately, or it's going to be this beautiful, pretty thing, or it's going to be painful and just nerve-wracking and horrible. So I think there's a lot of misconceptions about what healing really is. Um, I know some people think that you have to arrive somewhere after healing, or it's like waving a magic wand. So, drop in the chat what you think about healing. Like, what are your expectations about healing? What does it look like for you? I know that I have been on a healing journey for, wow, perhaps close to 20 years now. And it has been the most interesting adventure. It hasn't always been easy. It hasn't always been pretty, but it has always been worth celebrating. Every achievement, every opportunity to grow, every lesson I've learned, every heartache and heartbreak, which has built me up into who I am today. All of it's been really worth it. And I think being able to heal through that journey and being able to grow as a person has made every single thing I've been through totally worth it. So that's how I look at it. How about you, Maisha? I know that, it's been an interesting journey for you too. So let us know, how's healing been for you?
So I was just gonna say when you said, people think that it's like waving a magic wand, and I was gonna technically describe theta healing as waving the magic wand, right? So I think to get to the place where I can actually feel that way now, right? I feel that if I want to shift or change something now at this point in my life, it feels like, Harry Potter, wizardry, waving the magic wand, that it's possible, and that, things can really shift. But of course, getting here, like you mentioned, oh, hang on a second. I lost Sanaya. So while she comes back on, okay,
I'm
so
back.
there you are.
Yeah.
You're
I
back.
heard you. I
I
heard you the
lost
whole
you.
time. I know you were
Okay.
talking about how it's like waving a magic wand. And I just said that some people think it's waving a
Mm,
magic wand. I just wanted to jump in on that though, Maish, for a second, if you don't mind. I think because of where we are today, it does feel like waving a magic wand. But
yeah.
it took us a lot of work to get
Yes.
there, right?
Yeah.
So let's be real about that too. Like
Exactly.
you and I,
Yeah. Yeah.
we've
So
done
that's
it.
what No, that's what I was like, when we started, or we came up with this topic, right? Keeping it real. And, talking about our journey, I'm like, I don't know where to start, right? I have gone through worthiness issues, abundance issues, I've worked with relationship issues, and, so many different things that have shown up during this process or this journey, like you said, right? To get to this place where now it feels this way, which is why, with Theta Healing, I would love for everybody to have this opportunity to get to a place where they can have this tool
Yeah,
so that it
I
can
I
feel this
agree.
way, right? It doesn't have to, we did all the hard work.
Right.
It doesn't have to be that hard for
Absolutely.
them,
And I think that
So,
one thing we have to keep in mind, right, is it's only as hard as we make it to be for ourselves, right? So if something's really like challenging you, right, and you're struggling with it, that's why it feels hard because we haven't learned what we needed to, right? We haven't kind of like come
yeah,
out on the other side of it. That's why we feel like it's hard or it's like you're struggling. But when you are done with it, it's like, oh, it wasn't that bad. I just needed to learn a few things. It's done these
Yeah.
wonders for me in other aspects of my life. And so we kind of see what it did for us. But while we're in the midst of it, it might feel like our life is falling apart or it's never going to end. But I think when you get to the other side and you look back, that's the real win, right? That, oh, wow, I went
Yeah.
through that and it did
Yeah.
so many
Yeah.
positive things for me. So I think we have to
Yeah.
remember that while we're in the middle of the storm, that there is another
Yeah.
side. There is the other side, and you will look back and be like, oh, okay, that wasn't so bad, right? It's like pregnancy, right? And giving birth, it's
Yeah,
like we keep
absolutely.
doing it because
Yeah.
we think
Abs-
we like, oh, it wasn't that bad. We did it okay the first time and the second time and then the third time. But yeah, it's like you forget what it might have felt like while you were going through it.
and but what I do remember is that feeling of being stuck, a lot in each of the journey that I, went through. The feeling of this is so sticky. How do I get myself out of it? Is it possible to um, get myself out of it? I do resonate with that feeling. A lot of my clients sort of feel, is there a lining beyond this? Is there something? So that sticky feeling that you feel, or that feeling of being stuck, is just an opportunity, right? For you to, like you mentioned, gain that wisdom and understanding, and then you realize, oh wait, it's not that
Yeah.
hard or
And I,
difficult
I want to
anymore.
also talk to that because I just had this conversation with somebody else, right, that I was working on. So I'm going to call it like being in the eye of the storm. Like you're in the middle of it all and it just looks really ugly when you're smack in the middle, right? And you feel overwhelmed and you feel like, when will this end? And you feel like, is there a solution? Is there a way out? Is there light at the end of the tunnel, right? And everything looks dark and hopeless and you feel like nothing's ever going to change, right? And a lot of people give up at that point, right? That's where they like just stop fighting, or they
Mhm.
they just like, they go into depression. They get distracted by something, but basically they're like right there where they're about to make that leap and come out of the worst of it. And yet that's the point where people give up because that's where it gets the hardest, right? And a lot of people say that most people
Yeah.
give up right before they're going to be successful. And it's the same thing with healing. I think what happens is, we work on ourselves, we work on some particular challenge in our life, and then it gets harder and a little harder. And right when we're about to come out of it, we sometimes go right back into the loop, thinking this is never going to get and this is never going to get better, or blaming the other person, or staying in victim mode. And so it's also a good reminder, um, for anyone listening in, that stay consistent, stay committed. You'll always get out, right? You're not going to be stuck there forever. You will
Yeah.
move forward. This too shall pass, right?
Yeah. So I think also
Mhm.
what was tough for me, right, on my journey, was also kind of taking accountability and taking that step forward to say that, oh, this happened because of me, or my thoughts, or my belief systems, or my programmings, or because of my thoughts, and accepting that it is something that I potentially created. That's actually really, really hard to kind of, say that. A lot of my clients are, also have a difficult time getting that concept of or that idea. Do you want to kind of expound a
Yeah.
little bit
I
on
mean, I
your
always say
end of
that's the
things?
bitter pill to swallow, right? That is the bitter pill to swallow.
Mhm. The red pill or
Exactly,
the
right?
the the blue pill?
And
That's the
I always tell my
question.
students, and more so my students than my clients, because my clients are usually like, I'm in the middle of this like whatever feeling they have, and they don't want to hear something like, hey, it's you, you've created it. But I do it a lot with my students, and I always tell them, whenever you're faced with any challenge, whenever anything feels difficult, it's not them. It's not him or her. It's not the universe. It's not God. It's always you. It's always you who has created your biggest challenges, your biggest fears, your biggest blocks and obstacles to overcome. It's always you. And so this is kind of like, if you've been a client or a student, as a client, you'll eventually learn this with me. But as a student, you know this. I always say it's always you. And the most liberating thing about that, just accepting that, hey, it's not everybody else. There's no one else to blame. It's just me. I have to take responsibility. I have to be accountable, that this is my problem to solve. This is my challenge. This is my, cross to bear. This is my rock to climb, right? However you want to put it. Like when you accept it, it is the most liberating thought ever, because if it's me, then I don't have to rely on anybody else. I can just choose to, I can change it.
I
I can
can
take
change
control.
it.
I can fix
Yeah.
things. I can do something about it. And whether you take a small step of just
Yeah.
acknowledging that, or you take a bigger step of going to get help, or taking a class, or finding someone who can guide you or mentor you, right? Those are all now within your power. And I believe that you're more likely to do that when you accept the responsibility, right? Over whatever is happening in your life,
Yeah.
whether that's illness and disease, whether that's pain or heartbreak, whether that's a painful relationship where you feel like somebody has done something to you. But if you just accept it's all me, it all starts with me, it all ends with me, therefore I have the
Yeah.
power to do something about it, right?
And I think, to get to that aha moment and to get to understanding the links and the connecting of the dots, right? This is where theta healing comes in. This is where a session comes in. This is where, you're able to have somebody guide you, or you yourself kind of have the tools to be able to see that and connect the dots. And and when you kind of zoom out and say, oh, okay, this now makes sense, right? And this is why this is happening. I think that's like, I that feeling is something extraordinary, to
I
be
think
able to feel that
it's so
way.
interesting because for us, for you and me, or anyone who's been a student, right? It's kind of obvious, right? Like, for example, if you are struggling with something, or you're in pain, or you have some physical challenge, in our heads, like from where we look at it, it's like, oh yeah, of course. It's because of this, and you have this emotion, or this is, whatever the root cause. So when we look at it, it feels, we're
We're
wired. We've
wired
learned
that
how to
way already.
spot,
Yeah.
like
Mm,
spot the pattern or see where it's coming from. We can see the direct correlation. But for most
yeah.
people, they can't process that I am in this major physical
Yeah.
pain right now, but it's actually because I have emotional pain, going through some immense physical pain. And the physical pain started on the anniversary of a loss that hadn't been processed. Now,
Mm,
in her wildest dreams, she never considered that her
yeah.
physical pain is connected to the loss of somebody dear to her. But to me, it's like she won't be
Of
able to see
course.
that. She
Yeah.
wouldn't
She
have
wouldn't be able
connected
to
the
see
dots.
that.
But for me, it was just instant, like, oh,
Mm,
of course. This got triggered on, during the anniversary of a death and blah, blah, blah. And, oh, yeah, of course. This is, and tell me about how you feel about, did you ever get to process the grief? Did you ever come to terms or make your peace with that loss? And true enough, the person I was working with had a lot of regrets, a lot of things that she had not
yeah.
addressed or even, come to terms with. It was all buried deep inside her heart and her body and her mind, hiding there. And it was showing up as physical pain in her body from a physical illness, which was like, but how can that be connected to the grief of another loss? But we're
Yeah.
trained to understand and see how this all comes together, right? And it's one thing to see it and to point it out, but we know that we're usually pretty spot on about what is causing these different challenges in people's lives, because when we heal this other thing,
Yeah.
the physical pain disappears, or the illness reverses or
Changes. Yeah.
disappears, or
Shift.
like, it's pretty instant for us. It changes. So, and we've been doing this, like I've been doing this for almost 20 years. You've been doing it for a really long time too, right, Maisha? So
Mm.
for you, it's like, yeah, of course. Like we're going to do
Yeah.
this clearing, this release, this forgiveness, this healing. And whatever is the other challenge that they've come to us with is going to resolve. And over again, our clients are just as amazed about it as we are when it does heal, because it really is something truly special to watch, right? Like,
Yeah.
even though we're so used to it, we know it happens in every session,
Yeah.
right? It's exciting.
It's exciting.
Oh my God.
Inside, you're like, yes.
Of
Outside, you're like,
course,
of
yeah. But
course.
inside,
Of
you're just
course.
like, I feel grateful every time I get to see
Yeah.
one of my clients have this
Yeah.
instant healing, or even a healing over time, whatever it may be, because it looks different for everybody, right? But it's really like this whole sense of gratitude and just wonder that, wow, this is what I get to do every day, what I get to do with my life, feel better and get better and experience and happiness. And that's
I want to just add,
Mhm.
while you were talking about that, I, I realized that initially when I started taking theta healing or learning the course, and it was more about it's a tool, right? And the reason that we're able to kind of get to this point is because it's become a lifestyle now,
Yeah,
right? Versus just a tool that we're now able to kind of see everything in terms of how we're creating it and how we can connect the dots, you know, and I think that's kind of uh, that realization from a tool, it's
absolutely.
now become a lifestyle, right? And that's kind of something that we're now living and
Yeah.
breathing each and every moment,
Now,
which
there's one thing,
is
because we're
which is
kind of getting
awesome.
to the end of today's episode, I guess you could call it episode one of Theta Talks
Already
2025. But
so
there's one more
fast.
thing I wanted to highlight, because I get this question all the time from people is, how long is healing supposed to take, right? For some people, I've seen the
Mm,
most amazing resolutions in one session. And for some people, I continue to work with them over time, or, you know,
yeah,
it could be a couple of sessions, it could be longer than that, depending on what we're working on. And it really looks different
agree.
for every person. The more you are resistant to it, the less you understand healing, the more new or uncertain or resistant, the longer it might take. But we break through all of that, right? Like, you get more comfortable with it, you start to like trust the process a little bit more. But how quickly you heal really depends on how ready you are. Some people are ready and they're just like, I'm done, I'm over it. And there are some people who take it for a little bit longer, and this is all obviously on an unconscious level, and they feel like,
Yeah,
okay, it's
yeah,
not that bad yet. But usually when you kind of hit rock bottom, there's only one way to go, which is up. And I notice that the people who really hit rock bottom,
yeah.
they sometimes are the quickest to heal, because that's it. They've hit the end of the road. It's either they come out of it or they drown forever, right? And so when I do get people who are like, they've pretty much at the end of it and they're like, nothing's worked, and they come in for a healing, and that's when we see a turnaround, because they're ready, they're
They're
done, and they're
ready.
just like,
Yeah.
I'm all in. It's either this or nothing. So I do want to say that staying committed is the most important thing. That no matter what,
Mm,
you will get your healing if you keep at it. Like, I've had certain issues that might have taken me longer to work through, and some things that in one night made all the difference. But my attitude is, I'm going to keep working on it until I get the result I want. And I'm not attached to a certain
yeah,
result,
agree.
but what I am really committed to is releasing the negative and getting to a place where I feel good. I feel good about the situation. I feel good about myself. I feel good about where I'm at. And that may look differently because sometimes you want things to happen a certain way, but they happen differently, right? So I'm not necessarily committed that it has to be the outcome that I've determined is the only outcome. Yeah, I'm not attached.
Attached.
But
Yeah,
what
you're not
I am
attached to the
committed to
outcome.
is that I'm
Mm.
going to get out of this negative pattern or situation or block. Like I am moving. When you have that attitude, you will watch every single thing in your life holding you back peel away. Like it just comes off. You know what I mean? It's like you just drop it, drop it, drop it, drop all the stuff holding you back. And you really get to be this most, I would say, highest version of yourself.
So I think a good way for everybody to experience that is through
Yeah.
something like the
Yeah.
emotional
You do
breakthrough
that. Yeah,
session
that's
that we
right.
have, right? Where, in that 20 minutes, you kind of get to understand where you're at, where you want to be, and
Yeah.
what's blocking you from getting there, right? And take a zoomed out perspective.
We're
And
losing you a little bit, Maish, so I'm going to take over. But basically,
oh,
what you're talking about is you do these emotional breakthrough sessions, EBS, where you take people for about 20 minutes, I believe, and you help them just kind of get clarity. What's the issue? Where do I want to be? And what's stopping me? Right. And I think you do.
and how to get to
Exactly.
where I
So
want to be.
this is an
Yeah,
invitation
absolutely.
for anyone listening in who found some value in what we're talking about to, go ahead and just drop us a DMs, give us like a thumbs up or something, and we'll DM you a link. Maisha will, or Third Eye Wellness, I believe we're on Third Eye Wellness, will DM you a link to book your free 20-minute. We're extending it to anyone who's listening in. If you want just a taste of what healing looks like, what it could be for you. So this is an invitation, and we are going to continue to drop this invitation in our episodes. But we at the end of our time, and Maisha and I have decided to do something special at the end of every Theta Talks. Today we have some Wi-Fi issue, guys. We apologize for that. Maisha's Wi-Fi is down, so she's on her phone. And I think because I'm on um, her live, so it's affecting mine as well. So our apologies. We will get this fixed for our next session, which, by the way, our next Theta Talk will be about IRL versus virtual. So what we're talking about is how does theta work in real life, like with someone physically there, if you're doing a session one-on-one physically with someone versus virtual healing, which is what a lot of us do right now, is we do theta healing via Zoom with our clients. In fact, I think pretty much 95% of my clients are all via Zoom. I don't even really take in person as much anymore. So our next Tuesday will be about, IRL in real life versus virtual healing and what the difference is and how it works that way. But go ahead. Maisha's got the Theta Healing Virtue cards. She's going to pick a virtue for us today, and then we're going to just talk a little bit about it before we say goodbye to you guys. Go ahead, Maish. What?
So the intention is
Mhm.
what everybody needs for this week, right? So we
Yeah,
can
I like,
marinate
like
in
that.
this. Okay. So our virtue
Ooh,
is
look at that.
wonder. What a lovely
I love it because
card.
that's what I said earlier in our conversation, right? And I said it's really just wonder is what I feel when I experience my clients heal, and when I heal from things that have been keeping me stuck as well is wonder. And I think wonder is how we should all be approaching our life, because as children we are filled with wonder, right? Everything is just the planets and the stars and like, wow, how things work. There's so much wonder and excitement. And I think as we grow into adults, we become cynical and we forget to walk through life with that sense of wonder, because life truly is beautiful and there's so much um, to experience here. Okay, so what would it look like for you to walk through every day of your life with a sense of wonder? So that's what that virtue is for me. How about you, Maish? What do you feel with wonder?
Yeah. So I think a great question is I wonder how life could be different, right? I wonder how things can be different, how things can shift. And I wonder what
Yeah.
infinite potential is out there
Yeah.
for me, right? So
So
wondering
I'm just
and marinating
going to recap what
in
you
that.
said because I lost you for a bit, but I know what you were saying. I can feel you, but essentially what you were saying about wonder is wondering the possibility of what could be, right? Of how much better could my life be? Better could the situation be? And just wondering what lies beyond where you are today, right? Possibility. Is that right? Wonderful. Well, it
Absolutely.
was nice chatting with you, Maish, this way. I'm looking forward to our
You too.
Tuesday Theta Talks, where I think it's just a great space to chat, about something that is very, very special and very central to who we are. Right? It is I would say I would really credit my trajectory of my life to theta healing, all the work I have done and I continue to do. I mean, next time I'm going to tell you about this really cool session I did last week, which was one 20-minute session or maybe 10-15 minute session next day. So many things change because of that one quick session. So we're going to talk. We've got so many stories. Maisha and I have so many stories to share with you guys. We'll see you every Tuesday, IG Live, and join us live because you can comment, you can interact with us, we can address things that you might, these big questions in your mind, and we'd love to do that. So if you are listening in, if you have joined us, drop a note in the chat, drop a comment. What did you think? What do you want? To see happen on Theta Talks, let us know. And Maisha and I will definitely read your comments and come back to you with more of what you want. So let us know what you thought of Theta Talks, first one of the year. So I see a comment from Krish earlier saying she's all ears. And that's all I see. I kind of feel a lot of people might be in the middle of doing art around. Do drop us a note. Meanwhile, Maisha and I will say goodbye to all of you.
we, we we have a lovely comment from Queen.
Ooh,
Is it me or are Mentos
Theta Glow. I
glowing?
know,
The
right?
Theta
If I could
Glow.
bottle up some Theta Glow, wouldn't that be amazing? Right? Oh, I don't see that comment. How come? All right. Well, thank you, Queen. Thank you for that.
And love these Theta Talks. Thank you, Jelly. I want a free healing. Okay, it will be in the chat
Yeah,
box. The 20 minutes
we'll drop the link
PBS.
in the chat. So this on Third Eye Wellness on the feed. It'll be saved there. So you can just go there and we will have it in the comments. All right. Or in the description, one of those. All right, you guys. Thank you. Lots of love. Take care, you guys. We'll be back with some real talk and some powerful transformations. Bye now.
See you next week.